Okay, no worries. So good morning and welcome to almost the last week in March. This week we've got Ryan Simpson, who's the National Sales Director of Indie Agencies and Direct at Val Morgan Outdoor. He's going to give us an update on all things outdoor, from shopping through to gyms and the rebound of gyms post-COVID. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Ryan. I guess just the general formalities. If there are any questions, just add them into the chat box and Ryan will answer them at the end of the presentation. So I'll hand over to Ryan and off we go.
Great, thanks, Dave. Morning, everybody. I'm just going to share my screen. Hopefully this goes as smooth as it did before. Steve, let me know if you can see that.
Yep, we're loading up now.
Great. Good
to go.
Cool. Well, look, guys, obviously, most of you, some of you I've met, some of you hopefully know Val Morgan Outdoor. Obviously, this session is going to be, and obviously thanks to the IMAA guys to sort of setting this up. It's a really good opportunity for us to try and talk to as many of you guys as possible in one go. And then obviously I know myself and my team still also come out to see you, but this is a great way to try and get you all in the well, not in the room, but on the line at the same time. So the contents of today is going to be obviously talking about the next gen network that we have, and a bit of the sort of capex behind our plans for this year, enhanced planning capabilities, and talking more about obviously how we can help you guys plan your campaigns and provide you with a better outcome to sort of target your audiences. And then the third thing is coming soon. So there's quite a few things we've got coming up that should be of interest to you guys in terms of new presentations and some new sort of formats and bits and pieces that we've got to talk to you guys about. So our vision this year is to build a next-gen network fit for the future. So, in doing that, we have, some premium outdoor solutions. So obviously we have our shopping center network, which is, we're pushing that we're number one in quality, and quality screens and quality positioning. The other thing we have is large format, so big screens for brands. We're rolling out a lot more of our large format internal and external screens. We have obviously our active gym network, which we're number one in health and lifestyle in the networks. And then obviously the on-the-go petrol station, which we're number one in P&C. So, obviously the goal for us is to be number one across everything. And this is how we're going to do it. So building the next-gen network. Our VMO shop, we're rolling out 100 new locations this year, and we want to get to the number one in retail out of home. Hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be 500 national shopping centres across the country. We're sitting at about 430 or so right now, with over 1,600 digital screens. The key about obviously what we do is it's all digital. So 7-second full motion digital formats, and 1 in 6 is the share of voice. We're rolling out 100 next-gen large format screens, and that's where we're sort of really trying to focus a lot of our capex to really sort of become that number one in quality and also number one in the retail space. Large format, so this is one of our newest and greatest LED curved 9 meter by 3 meter screen down at World Square, which is where our head office is. And this is sort of on the corner of George and Liverpool Streets in World Square there. It's amazing. So we found that obviously the reason why we're focusing on large format is to get that 25% more attention time and dwell time, because we know that these large format screens that are internal are capturing more attention because you can't miss them. So as I said, rolling out 100 of these highest quality large format digital screens, and they double the engagement than any standard formats that we have. So it's where brand can really meet performance and obviously increase that attention time and impact to the consumer walking through. We've been launching a lot of dominations, so VMO dominations. So we now have access to multiple locations that can do things like the dominations we have been doing at Manly Wharf, which you see here. So we've got in Manly Wharf, you can take over the screens, the banners, the decals, the flags around the wharf, and we're really sort of extended that out now to make sure that we can target sort of more commuter hubs. So we've got Chatswood Interchange, we can do World Square, we've got a few things in Melbourne, a few sites in Melbourne like Werribee Pacific and Epping Plaza down in Melbourne, that we can also do the dominations where you basically buy all of our screens, the banners in the shopping centre and the decals across the locations as well. So There's also activation zones in these areas that we can obviously do. So we're sort of really going to push those more domination sort of ideas that we can push out. The VMO Active, our gym networks, we have over 1,100 locations that dominate that health and fitness and wellbeing environment. So we are pretty much looking after 100% of gyms in the country that have a media network within them. So you can see the partners we have down the bottom: Fitness First, Good Life, Anytime, Phone with all female gyms. We won Jets off one of our competitors during COVID last year. And so pretty much just expanding everything. So the best way to know what we have is by knowing what we don't have. So we don't have Virgin and we don't have F45. They're the main ones that we don't really have. So we know that the gym goers are engaged in positive consumer mindsets. Is media for good? So we're launching Active Nation, which I'm going to talk to you guys individually through agencies and through your teams about sort of setting up obviously training programs and experience that you guys can come to the gyms and experience those things. Instantaneous trial with some sampling opportunities we've been doing lately, and obviously ambient decals, and really pushing down not just the digital aspect of our network, but the other things you can do within the gyms. The on-the-go environment, so we're the largest PNC network covering the premium convenience offering that we have. Obviously QMS has launched Impulse in 7-Eleven, but we look after pretty much everything else that we, in terms of the locations: BPs, Euro Garages, Metro, Ampol, Caltex, Liberty, you name them, we pretty much have them again. So we know that we connect with 100% of drivers and premium shoppers simultaneously at the same time. As I said to Steve before, during COVID, people were traveling to the service station rather than going to a supermarket because they didn't want to be around lots of people. We know that all of our screens guaranteed within 2-meter proximity to the actual store entry front, and obviously the petrol Bowser screens that you can see in the image here. These are really unique because it is one-on-one viewing. We've got 3,500 screens that really target a consumer one-on-one. You can't fast forward, you can't skip the ad, you can't smoke, you can't use your phone. There's nothing else to do but look at the $2.50 petrol at the moment, and hopefully be engaged with what's on the screens to take your mind off how much money you're spending on the petrol at the moment. So that covers just a quick overview of the network, but innovations is what we're going to here to talk about today, and obviously how we can really bring some new things to life. So recently we've sort of launched things like full exterior decals in the petrol station environment. So again, having window decals and door decals, things like that in terms of really bringing brands to life. We've looked at doing campaigns where the drive-through car washes, where you can take those over and have brand ambassadors washing the cars. We did something for a zombie game where the water became purple and red. So it was a bit of a cool idea. So we're trying to really sort of branch out on how we can sort of do more in that petrol station environment as well. Branded content opportunities, align with the weather, align with our Val Morgan digital arm, where you can sort of extend your online presence within the petrol stations, the gyms, and the shopping centres, because we know that there's a great way to increase that content and expand the content opportunities across different environments to really leverage those campaigns online and offline. Then the sampling kiosk, we launched these a couple of years ago. These have taken off. I'm not too sure if any of you guys have Fitness First and have seen the digital kiosk that we have, but it's a really cost-effective way to drive product trial. We now have 50 kiosks in Fitness First and 14 in Good Life gyms, where you basically walk up to the machine, scan your gym membership, and it says, "Hi Ryan, please take your, in this case, free hand sanitizer from Bupa, sponsored by Bupa," and then it would obviously, if you try to swipe again and give you another one, you wouldn't be able to take one. So it was a really controlled way to do sampling because we found that people were just taking out of the tubs multiple samples at a time. So these have been really, really effective, and we can give you more information on these as well. We've revisited directional audio. So some of you, you might remember from years and years ago, we came out with directional sound speakers that used to be really cool, that it could shoot a beam of sound in one direction. We're sort of revisiting those. Sound in shopping centers was a bit of a gimmick back in the day, but now you can have some really cool sound areas and sound zones where you walk directly under a screen or within sort of a meter or two of the screen. We can shoot a beam of sound based on, obviously in this case, the sound of a car engine, or you can do the opening of a can of Coke, and that sounds that when you open it. So again, just doing a little bit more in that shopping center space to really engage with people and get them to engage with the screens a little bit more. There's another idea we came up recently with a bit of a smoke activation. So this was an activation idea for one of our, obviously, farmers markets. It basically was trying to inform the consumers walking past the screens that this brand's product was found in the chilled section in the supermarket. So we had a sort of fridge door creative idea that once the fridge door opened, the actual screen would shoot a bit of smoke, and it would be like the cold air coming out of a fridge. So really get an idea of how you could bring that campaign to life and remind consumers that this product was found in that dairy and frozen sort of refrigerated areas within the supermarket itself. Bit of a media first. It hasn't happened yet, but we're hoping we can encourage someone else to use this idea. The other thing we've been looking at is a really cool light projection, and we've been talking about light projections onto city buildings and then to shopping centres. With the latest one we've got is obviously approval to run a light projection show on Manly Wharf. So again, as part of that VMO Manly domination, you can look at obviously a light projection, which is similar to the Vivid stuff, and actually have an activation zone outside, as well as sort of promote your brand through light projection across Manly Wharf's exterior. And then 3D screens. So obviously there's been a bit of talk in the media about 3D screens. Recently it has happened. We have seen something along the lines of 3D screens recently. We have sort of been talking about our Prawn Central screen down in Melbourne, which can do the similar kind of thing and have a very cool, hyper-realistic 3D outdoor billboard that blurs that line between technology and reality. And obviously this has been done overseas, but we're now looking at how we can sort of bring that sort of 3D cool creative ideas into Australia with some of our large format exteriors. So that covers sort of some of the innovations and the cool things that we're doing in a bit of an overview. So the second thing we're going to talk about is obviously enhanced planning capabilities. And I've been with Val Morgan for sort of 15 years or so now, and we used to sell dots on maps, and it's sort of expanded now to be more about, it's not about the dots and how many screens you're buying, it's about buying the right screen at the right time and in the right environment. So using our planning capabilities, we can help you guys discover where your audiences are, and also sort of overlay that with all of our shopping centres and make sure we're targeting the right areas. So the first thing first, obviously we joined the IMAA last year. We are now part of Move 1.5, and the great thing is that all of the retail providers, so Shopper, Westfields, O, and us, are now part of Move 1.5. So when you do brief us on a retail campaign, you'll be able to compare apples with apples and get a consistent industry measurement across the 3 or 4 providers that you may be using. So I'm pretty sure you guys are all familiar with 1.5, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But again, we are working very closely with them. We're about a week or so away from it being actually live from our end. We're just sort of uploading the last few bits and pieces, but we should definitely be up and running sort of by the 1st of April, hopefully, in terms of when you guys brief us. So obviously the IMAA and the Move 1.5 is a really great industry thing for us to be a part of, because it is going to give us a little bit more classification and comparison with the other providers. Dart 360, we've obviously had Dart, our Dart technology for about 10, 11 years now, where it's all about facial recognition software. Dart 2.0 became more about sort of, facial features and mood. And then Dart 360, which we sort of launched about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, is where it's really going to use our data partners and your client data to help us plan, optimize, and improve the campaign performance. So using our data visualization platform that we're about to talk about in the coming soon section, some audience segmentation, our Dart RNF, and also our new data partners. So it is really going to be able to help you guys plan, prove, and obviously get the right campaign effectiveness for your clients. Our data partners, some of you or most of you should know which our partners are. Obviously, Roy Morgan with Helix Personas, We have a mobile data that really sort of can drill down on areas of people searching for sort of particular brands or products. We've got the Nielsen Home Scan transactional data, which is based on people who go to a shopping center or a supermarket or a hardware store or any store, in fact, and then go home and scan their products, and it goes into the Nielsen database, and we can drill down on competitors and areas where these kind of categories are bought. The VMO sort of data, so Dart evolution, so 10 years of Dart facial recognition software scores. We know the best time of the day, best day of the week to advertise to particular target demographics. Then we obviously can use our ethnography panel, your client data, as well as our sort of data to decisions research partners, as well as census data. And we overlay all of those data sets. We obviously don't use every data set. We might pick and choose one or two, select that data, understand the audience, locate where they are, and then obviously optimize our network by saying, right, the best areas to target those audiences are these locations. We'll give you the site list, and then we'll obviously run the campaign. And at the end, use our Dart technology to prove the campaign performance by giving you a Dart score, an engagement score based on obviously real-time engagement over the period of the campaign. So in 2022, we're going to be launching a new planning tool, which will have a centralized web-based destination to house all of our Dart 360 data, allowing the seamless campaign planning from you guys for bespoke audience segments. So again, we're really hoping to be able to put this in place this year to be able to provide you guys access to access this data, along with obviously us responding to a brief for you. But it's going to be housing all that move measurements and inventory availability as well. So it's going to be a really robust tool that will have us house all of our data and our data partners, along with our move scores as well. Programmatic, obviously programmatic's been a buzzword for a while now. We won the Measure Up Awards winner for our sort of hourly outdoor, which is amazing for a team that we have really been launching programmatic for quite some time. You know, we assumed programmatic was going to be about sort of 10% of our revenue in the first year, but it exceeded that by a huge amount of percentage in terms of, you know, we really were able to provide every one of our screens, both on shopping centers, petrol stations, and gyms, to have access to the programmatic locations, and obviously to be able to target your target your audiences as well. So we have a small team in the programmatic guys at the moment, 1 or 2 people. We're obviously looking to expand that, but again, it's really using all the third-party Hivestack, Vista, and the others as well that can really sort of use that unique third-party hourly audience measurement tools to specifically target the location and the screen. So the other quality guarantee, and a lot of you guys would have seen our last webinar where we talked about quality counts and making sure that obviously, you know, buying the right screen and, you know, getting the right location is where you want to make sure your clients are. So from our perspective, we obviously offer the guarantee that, you know, we don't have any remnant inventory or external car park ads or static screens. We only operate it in the top 3 of the wheel here: front-facing floor-mounted digital screens, ceiling-mounted digital screens, and obviously large format premium position digital screens again. So 100% of your client's campaign will only play on these formats, whether it's paid or bonus. So we guarantee that we don't have remnant inventory that won't be in the right location for your message for your clients. So the coming soon. So we've got another 10 minutes or so. So we're going to be right on time. So coming soon. So basically the power of TV with the reach of out of home. And some of you guys may recognize the little play on words that we've gone with the VMO TV. It is the old MTV logo back from the 90s, I think it would have been. So that's a play on words there. Not many people know that anymore, but what we wanted to really do, we're coming out with a new presentation sort of come mid-April about the power of digital out-of-home TV. So we have the most premium, robust outdoor TV network in the market with 5,000 screens in over 1,500 locations. And there's a couple of little snippets and a little teaser about what the presentation will be shown on. And we know that the marketers know that, and you guys all know that the power of AV. So 55% of all media is invested in video assets. So from our perspective, obviously that's a really great opportunity to leverage the media spend and come in and take it into the VMO sort of networks. So the sweet spot is obviously out of home. So physical availability and attention with TV, basically with mental availability and high attention. And then the VMO TV fits right in that sweet spot of mental and physical availability with high attention rates. Our gym network, our petrol station network, all have these amazing outdoor TV quality networks that can really sort of engage with the audience at the right time with the right message. So we have 750,000 plus worth of hours of content daily running on our 5,000 screens in those 1,600 locations, hitting about 4.5 million unique audiences every single fortnight. So, a lot of our screens within the gyms, will be increasing your incremental reach based on a TV buy, because the gym goers, they're usually at the gym during those peak TV times, morning and night, and with the additional peak of our gyms during lunchtime hours, as well as the petrol station network, where we know people really are out and about and traveling. So if you can leverage your free-to-air TV campaign, run that TV campaign on outdoor digital TV with the sound, you're going to drive traffic to your stores. So watch this space as the new deck will come out in about 3 weeks' time, and I'm sure we'll look to do come out and see you guys individually and through your teams, and as well as we're working with the IMAA to bring this to market as well. The other thing that we came up with when we launched the quality counts deck is about having a retail buying guide that could really help you guys evaluate your next campaign. So what we wanted to do is come up with what we call the Q scores. And we developed a quality outdoor buying solution that we can help you guys create. So we've done all the hard work in the back end. And what it does is actually gives you guys input the data yourself. So it's not just us saying how good we are, but we actually grab all the data from us, put our data in, and then it's up to the agencies and your clients to get each data from the other retail providers, so Shopper, O, Westfields as well. And this is what it can do. So here's a little quick demonstration to go through how you can plan your campaign and get the most effective outcome. And trust me, it's not always us that comes out on top. So basically how you do it, you apply your screen evaluation to your campaign, evaluate it in several different steps. So step one is obviously insert the campaign metrics supplied by obviously your clients. So obviously the investment, the timing, the screen locations, and if you wanted to sort of split across the different providers, you can obviously do that. The second step is to apply agency weightings to screen priorities. So again, if you wanted to be, target sort of less than 50-meter proximity, 50 to 100, you want external or you don't want external car park. So you can put in the criteria here that you want to select and really sort of apply the weighting. So if you want 100% within center, then you put a 0 to that sort of criteria there. Then you can apply some bespoke weighting. So if you want large format, or you want verification, if you want post reporting, so all the things that you might need to help you to obviously target the right audience at the right time and make sure the campaign is effective. We've added some additional bespoke concepts for you guys to use. The fourth step is then obviously factors in share of voice and screen wastage. Obviously, the share of voice, I believe we're all around the same now, 1 in 6. I'm pretty sure that's all the same. But again, I know that we're really sort of try to sort of tailor our network to be very similar to everyone else's, so that you can compare. And obviously, you want to know what your frequency is and what your wastage are. So if you don't want car parks, if you don't want externals, then obviously you want to put that in here so that it's not going to affect your score. And then what you get is a calculated Q score. So the Q score is that quality score. So again, making sure that you have no external car parks, no static screens, no screens that are structured by activation zones, and all those sort of different things that we have been very transparent with, and in terms of making sure that we can allow you guys to get the best screen in the right position for the right time. So it factors all those things in, and it gives you the calculation of the score. And then you can actually assess the publisher score against your own campaign metrics. So again, you can use that Q score to apply to the CPM and see the best CPM for your campaign. As I said, it doesn't always come out the top on us as long as you've got all the information from the other providers. And that's a really quick demonstration. Obviously, we've got a lot more information on this, and if anyone is interested in using this, it's a great way to plan the campaigns for outdoor, get a realistic outcome, and you overlay that now with Move 1.5, and it's going to give everybody a very accurate information set on who to go with, where to position your screens, and what's the best outcome for your clients. And then the last slide is obviously we just launched the new VMO website. So if any of you guys haven't seen it, it's a really amazing website compared to what we used to have. So it's valmorganoutdoor.com. There's a lot of case studies in there, a lot of information on each one of our networks, whether it's the shopping center, the petrol station, or the gyms. But the network, the website itself has a lot of great creative examples. And it's a great way to get a lot of information. Obviously, you can always contact myself or my team, but this is a really great way to talk to your clients. If they're interested in knowing more about the outdoor, or Val Morgan Outdoor, then obviously it's a great website for you guys to actually hit. And I think that is pretty much it, right on time of 12:30.